This is Andy Purewal for ID Boxing. We are here in London and I'm joined by Anthony Crolla. Anthony, firstly, how are you?
I'm good, Andy, I'm good. Other than the early start this morning and the motorway traffic to get here, because we had to drive from Manchester, well, Don McGuinness did, it's hard, but a big fight like this, you don't want to miss it, do you?
You don't want to miss it indeed. It is a big fight week, but obviously earlier today we heard the news that Conor Benn had tested positive for clomiphene. I just want to get your thoughts and your reaction to that news.
Listen, if Conor Benn has tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug, or listen, if he's failed a drug test, not just a performance-enhancing drug, because they'll have people who will go, yeah, but it's not performance-enhancing. Let's be a little bit realistic here. Drugs can be used that aren't allowed to mask other things, and that's not me throwing, saying that's what's happened or not. But if a failed drug test happened, then as much as I want to see this fight weekend, let's be honest, if this fight, I don't know if I should say this, if this fight was happening at York Hall or the Olympia for an area title, it wouldn't be going ahead. I'm not sure the latest updates. I think the British Boxing Board have put something out that it's not happening on their regulations. So fair play to them, but obviously it's going to need addressing. It's going to need addressing, and if it's a substance has been taken, then obviously it's got to be looked in order to whether bans are going to get put in place or whatever.
You're right in what you said. So the board has come out and put out a bit of a statement saying that it's not happy. He said it's not in the interest it's not in the interest of boxing for the fight to go ahead. That's come from the board. So as things currently stand, it seems like the main event will not be going ahead. So again, just your thoughts, the correct move?
Yeah, you've got to say yeah, isn't it? As much as I want to see the fight, as much as you want to see the fight, as much as a nation wants to see the fight. Let's not remember, there's the promo for this, all the team at Matchroom and on other platforms, the way they've pushed it, and it's a real black eye for boxing, this. It's a real black eye for boxing. Do I think it's the right move by the board? Listen, I'll be honest, yeah, I do, but I think it's also brave from them. Listen, the right decision, but brave because, one, they could have easily overlooked it. Two, they would get a lot of stick from boxing people if it did go ahead. So it's a mad one. I'm still a bit like, wow, I don't know what's going to happen myself. But yeah, listen, fair play to them.
Now, obviously, you're somebody, Anthony, who would have tested numerous times throughout your career with various different organisations. Now, the test which came back positive in Conor's case was one which was done under the jurisdiction of VADA. In the Matchroom statement, they said since then he's done tests under UKAD and he passed with flying colours, as it were. What's your understanding of that situation? Instead of them going through VADA again?
Yeah, so that won't be like, I don't know if that wouldn't be a voluntary one. I might be right in saying that's not a voluntary one. I was on it myself, where you had to give a whereabouts, where you were sleeping overnight, an hour in the day where you had to be in that spot. If you missed it, I think you got a few strikes. And then that'd be it. If you missed 3, I think it was, I was lucky enough I never did, it'd be classed as a failed test and there'd be an automatic ban. But I think social media sometimes, it can be good and bad for certain reasons. But someone just put, listen, if you fail a drink driving test and then a few days later you go and have it again, there's a good chance you're going to pass it unless you've been out on the drink again. So you don't know. Listen, obviously it's a controversial thing to be talking about, but let's also be honest, it was an unexpected test. I'm guessing I'm right in saying that it's an unexpected test, so it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, and anyone who says it does is telling lies.
I mean, as we say, as things currently stand, the fight is not going ahead, but that could change as well. What would it say about the sport if the fight was to go ahead? When you're considering the build-up, Eubank Senior was very kind of cautious about his son's health, and you look at kind of the past fights with Eubank and Benn, with McClellan and Watson.
And we're just being honest here, aren't we? We'll be gutted if this fight doesn't take place because of how much we're looking forward to it. But does it look good? It cannot look good for the sport at all. It doesn't look good for the sport no matter what. But obviously, if it goes ahead and Listen, there's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of money. I imagine there's been millions spent in different industries, whether it be from hotels to promotion. Look at this. Monday night, we was all eating dim sums and we spiced tuna in Tattoo up the road. Do you know what I mean? Place things like that. There's cost a lot of money. But there'll be a lot of critics out there and a lot of other people aren't involved in the show who will say if that fight goes ahead, it's absolutely wrong. And how can we, boxing, how can we argue with that? We can't, and that's just me being honest. And I probably won't do myself any favours in working, stuff like that, but I'm just being honest, Andy.
Now, for somebody who's obviously previously promoted by Eddie and by Matchroom, originally their statement read the fight was going to go ahead unless otherwise told so. So with that in mind, they pulled Joshua-Usyk from a potential fight with John Pascal over the lack of VADA testing for that fight. So I want to get your thoughts on them deciding to do that, but they're not taking the decision themselves to.
Mate, listen, we can dance around it all we want, but I think it comes down to one thing, doesn't it? But I'm thinking, and understandably, I get that about pulling Buatsi on someone who's failed numerous drug tests. But so is it VADA or WADA? I always get them mixed up. What have they reported a failed drug test on VADA or WADA? Yeah, it would be a bit double standards. That's what it'd be, wouldn't it?
How much will this damage Conor's career moving forward, Anthony?
I believe it, unless he can get it cleared up, and cleared up pretty quick, it certainly will damage his career. And it's my shame. I'm gutted. I genuinely mean that. I like Conor Benn. So if it does come out like it is and there is no explanation, I'll be gutted, genuinely. To damage it to people in boxing, yeah. It's hard because Canelo's career, a lot of people will always struggle to look past certain things, but has it damaged his career and legacy? Probably not. And is that wrong? Yeah, it probably is.
If you're Conor Benn now, Anthony, what's kind of going through your mind at this moment?
Listen, here's my thing. I think Conor Benn's a very emotional character. Heart on the sleeve. He's banged up for things, and I can only imagine where his head will be at right now. I can't imagine the place mentally where he's at. Does it affect how he's going to go about the fight if the fight goes ahead? Does it affect? There's no denying Conor Benn would have been a crowd favourite on Saturday. Does that shift and change a little bit? You take into these factors. It's it's a mad one.
Just away from this, and just one other thing I want to get your thoughts on the whole Fury Joshua talk. But it doesn't seem like we'll get that now. Did you ever believe? Have you seen the latest? Did you ever believe yourself that we would see that this year?
No, right. Do you know what? At the time, I put something on Twitter. Twitter. I was after having a joke. I said there's actually grown men out there booking trains and hotels for the Joshua Fury fight, and I do all right on social media. I got battered a bit of people. Oh, you can't get the early price. You can't get the early bird room. Before hotel price go through the roof. And I get that, and I wasn't saying that in any way. If we can get a cheaper hotel room, absolutely. Like, that is not what I was having a dig at. Come on. I was just saying, like, it obviously wasn't happening. So those people who have a go, I just hope that, and those same people, I hope they apologise to the Cardiff business owners who've had to cancel the Christmas parties, because they can't get hotel rooms now for the night. I apologise if you took it that wrong, so I hope they do the same.
Right, and we'll leave it there now because I know you've got to go back to work. I've pulled you away from your shoot, so thank you as always.
Always good to see you, man.